My boy. I'm excited for this one. I've had this idea because I really like this scene. Now, I don't know if this comes from some sort of re-excitement because of the Dolby re-releases for Batman 89 and Batman Returns. Tickets secured, by the way. I'm there. I'm going. But for whatever reason, a lot of these scenes in these films, I find particular things, essence of Bruce Wayne or Batman, that I think are things that we can take into our own life. Attributes, attitudes, demeanors, how we walk, how we talk, how we stand. And this film in Batman Returns, I don't think it gets talked about a lot. To be honest, I never see it reposted, mentioned, but there's an essence of it that I've always really liked. And I'm excited to do this because it's kind of an analysis of Bruce Wayne in a business type meeting. It's cool to see, it's fun to see, you know, in the Nolan trilogy we saw it, but it was always kind of gimmicky. A lot of the times it was played as a joke with him, you know, in the meeting but asleep or other things like that, which is great and fun, but it is really cool sometimes to see in the Bruce Wayne aspect, the business aspect of it, where he takes the mentality of Batman, will you will, but bring it into a business essence, right? Because in business, everyone tries to be top dog. Everyone wants to have the authority. Everyone wants their idea, their pitch to be the one that everyone's like, yes, he's the guy, that's the one. But there's certain figures such as Bruce Wayne, when you have the power, when you have the money, and essentially you have nothing to lose in these meetings, you can have all that with nothing to lose. So we are going to analyze the Bruce Wayne, Michael Keaton Bruce Wayne, and Max Schreck business meeting. This is early into the film. This is about the first meeting I believe they have or interaction in the film per se, and it's where he meets Selina Kyle for the first time. But to bring up kind of the start off, to give you an idea of what's going on, is that Max Schreck clearly is one of the villains in Batman Returns. And in this, one of his goals is the power plant, right? He wants to surge and contain control of Batman's power surplus. Bruce Wayne is involved in this once he finds out and essentially is meeting with him to say no. So let's take over this. Let's watch this right now and kind of go over some aspects I really like of this.
Everyone but the bandits will be slacking off till after the new year anyway.
Not sure I like the inference, Bruce.
Sorry, Max. Didn't realize I made
Okay, right here, they're not even in the meeting right now, and I've watched this a couple times before watching this or making this video. I don't know if that particular remark was intentional for Max, because essentially Max Schreck is curious as to why he wants this meeting now. It's the holidays. Everyone likes to slack off during the holidays. Most people in the business world, take the whole month of December past New Year's off, right? But Max is pushing this right now, and Bruce makes the comment that, you know, traditionally, if you're a normal, hardworking family man, this is the time you don't want to work. This is the time you don't want to make decisions like this. You kind of want everything to push off until, like he says, the end of the new year. So when he kind of makes a comment about the only people still out during this time are kind of the, you know, poorly inclined or motivated people, it might have not been intentional, but Max definitely took it that way.
I'm pushing this power plant now because it'll cost more.
You gotta actually like how this big round table, right? When it comes to tables, when it comes to business meetings, family dinners, the head honcho always sits at the end, right? You have, you know, the father, the grandfather, the owner of the business, the manager. They usually always sit at the end for whatever. It's always a dominance factor to have everyone else at the side and the main man kind of making those decisions or controlling it all through there. And so if you look at this aspect right here, they have a very, very big round table, fits maybe 10 plus people here. They very easily could have sat anywhere, but both of them being those people who want to be in control right here and be kind of the boss of this conversation, they're both sitting across. It's almost reminiscent of that dinner with Vicky Vale and Bruce from the first film.
Later. A million saved is a million earned.
I commissioned this report. I thought you might want to take a look at it.
be honest, Alfred probably commissioned that report. Anyway.
Point is, Max, Gotham City has a power surplus. I'm sure you know that. My question is...
Okay, right here is probably my favorite attitude he brings into this business meeting, right? When people are into meetings like this, there can always be, especially if you think you have to convince the other person or kind of sway the other person into your ideology, there's usually a bit of a hidden tension kind of glossed over with a lot of bullshitting, right? A lot of fake smiles, a lot of laughters. You don't necessarily ever want to throw out that you disagree with the person or have an different idea. Usually people try to skate their way into kind of throwing what they want to say very hostile, rude. This way, though, with Bruce Wayne, the words he uses, Gotham City has a power surplus. I'm sure you already know that. He's calling him out on his bullshit directly. The first few sentences of the meeting, he lets Max Shreck know directly. I'm sure you already know that. Inclining that he is already calling him out on his bullshit, knowing that there's something else going on and that he's just not having it. He's setting the tone of this meeting right away. And as Bruce Wayne has that power, like I said, if someone who has nothing to lose, he's able to do that.
What's your angle?
Power surplus, Bruce. Shame on you. No such thing.
In a very Batman essence way, too, he asks, what's your angle? Essentially, like, cut the bullshit. I'm reading, we have a power surplus. I've looked through it all. This factually has nothing to do with any sort of the corporate PR statements you throw out about to Gotham City about why they need this. So right then and there, what's your angle? I'm calling you out on your bullshit.
One can never have too much power. If my life has a meaning, that's the meaning.
Yeah, well, I'm going to fight you on this, and I've already spoken to the mayor, and we see eye to eye.
Mayors come and go. Blue bloods tire easy. You think...
One thing about the guy who's always prepared, right? Batman with prep time, he just says, well, I'm going to fight you on this. There's no dancing around the subject. I disagree with you. I don't like it. I'm going to let you know right in this meeting. And what has he already done? He commissioned the report. Alfred commissioned the report. He's already spoken to the mayor. So quite frankly, he knows the outcome of this meeting right before the meeting even happened. He knew it wasn't going to happen, but he's meeting with Max in a lot of ways, potentially from a Batman aspect, to kind of find out if it's something he needs to handle, but also as a business aspect to let him know that as Bruce Wayne, I still have that responsibility for my city to not let people like you come in and try to do this in my city. He really watches over Gotham as Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Go 15 rounds with Mohammed Shrek?
Well, I guess we're going to find out. Of course, I don't have a crime boss like Cobblepot in my corner, so it might...
Crime boss? Shows what you know, mister. To the man are born with a silver spoon.
You know, okay, when people are in meetings with their boss, right? Awkward business meetings, uncomfortable meetings. How often when you go into those meetings, right? Because when you have an issue with a coworker or a boss or whoever, you have that build up, that list of things that just comes up of like, they do this, they don't do that. Well, they do this. Well, this is hypocritical, right? It all builds up. It's all stuff that you'd like to just sit that person down and just call it all out on them, right? This, you don't do this. Right here, Bruce Wayne just does it. Right there, he has an inclination that he has the crime lord of Penguin, or Oswald at this point, behind, in his corner, as he says. And he calls it out right there. How many people, when they've talked to their boss or a manager, would love to just say that right directly to their face, right from the very beginning, not letting it prolong until it either blows up or nothing happens? Bruce Wayne 100% just attacks it directly on. Lets Max know directly we are a minute into this clip. It's not happening. He already has the mayor's backing. He disagrees with them, and he's calling him out on everything he thinks is wrong with this.
Oswald is Gotham's new golden boy. If his parents hadn't 86'd him, you two might have been bunkies at prep school.
Oswald controls the Red
Now
Tribe.
take a look with body language here, right? As immediately as Max started rounding the table, you know how he talked about how they were both at the sides of the ends because they wanted to be the boss? Max clearly feels threatened at this point. He knows that he is getting called out, and everything he's getting called out on is truthful. He starts surrounding the corner, getting closer to Bruce, right? He's in more of like a attack defensive type of style where he wants to get closer because he's getting mad. And Bruce immediately, once he gets up, he just stands up, right? He doesn't back up. There's no flinching. Bruce Wayne, he stands right up and he's there. Like, he shows no fear. He shows no, like, withdrawn, backing up or backing down. He is standing right there ready, being like, again, I am not afraid of you.
Gang. I can't prove it yet, but we both...
Wayne, I'll not stand for mudslinging.
Now, at this point, the meeting is essentially over. And I sat here for a minute. I was like, well, at this point, the meeting's over, right? What else can we really analyze at this point? But then I thought, well, the meeting's over, and maybe that is the analyzing part right there. Is that at this point, if you look at the angle, Max Shreck is still in a very defensive way trying to justify his actions. Bruce has already laid everything out he wants to at this point, and it's done, and it's just over a minute into this meeting. He is completely ignoring Max at this point. Like, his eyes are fully on Selene at this point. Anything right there, I mean, how do you feel? Everyone's had it where you're talking, someone's completely zoned you out. It's one of the most disrespectful and annoying things on the planet, because you can clearly tell that they just don't care. He clearly just does not care what Max is saying at this point. And this is, quite frankly, probably the final nail in the coffin of the disrespect, because Max Shreck in this film is kind of put on a pedestal himself. He's kind of, Bruce Wayne is Gotham's prince, their golden boy, but he's really running that line in PR and the news about being that, right? Gotham kind of looks at him as that guy as well, but clearly the Prince of Gotham, right, who kind of trumps it all, is completely letting him know, hey, I'm the Prince of Gotham. I have more power than you. I have more money than you. I have more influence than you. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. And really, he plays the toll of, like, take this almost as a warning. Bruce Wayne's, here's your chance to do it legally right now, face to face. Stop what you're doing. But we also know the pointy-eared bat and cowl, right, his other alter ego, is going to end it and stop it no matter what. But I thought this would be an interesting analysis to do, quick analysis, because a lot on this channel I talk about how we can implement things from this character, Batman and Bruce Wayne, because this is also a Bruce Wayne channel, into our daily lives. We do it sartorially. I love buying the clothing items or different pieces we can wear in public, but attitude, posture, how we act, how we talk, our confidence levels are all things we can also take from Batman and Bruce Wayne too. It's not always easy, and actually it's incredibly difficult. It might be hard. It might be easier to get in a bat costume and try to fight crime, because as we all know, sometimes confrontation or being in that moment, it feels incredibly good to act that out, in the unfearful kind of proud way you can, but it's very hard to get to that point. Emotionally, physically, and working your way up to, and in that moment too, because, if you're not accustomed to it, kind of standing up for yourself or acting like that in a lot of ways can be difficult, even if it is really the right thing to do. And if you have done it before, is, in the moment, it's racing. Sometimes you can't even remember everything you said because you're constantly, running and your head spinning. But in the end, that feeling you get from doing it, knowing you did it the right way and the right thing to do, there's nothing like it. In fact, you kind of become proud of yourself. And in a world where, it's easy to be shitty on yourself, everyone else is going to be shitty on you all the time. So don't always try to do it to yourself, because enough people will do that for you. Standing up for yourself like this in a lot of ways and facing your fear, confronting the person who's bothering you, one of the best feelings on the planet. So taking these moments from Bruce Wayne, trying to incorporate into our own lives, think about this. It's a very quick meeting, but Bruce Wayne asserted himself, what he wants, what he doesn't want, what's not going to happen, his problems and everything. Face them. Bring them out front like that. But this is a scene I really like. I'm excited to see it in Dolby. you know, I'm gonna overanalyze this, but be able to overanalyze it and Dolby remastered, beautiful 4K, maybe. But this has been a quick video, but I enjoyed it. This has been Hayden Barton for the Batman Tradition. Take care.